Relationship advice. Update. I, 28 male, think my girlfriend, 26 female, of 4 years is going to leave me for her dying ex-boyfriend and first love. Original story. I saw their messages last week, and I haven't been the same since. I borrowed her old iPad for work purposes, and her Facebook account was still logged in the device. I was going to log in on my Messenger because I forgot my phone at home and I was going to message her, but then I saw that she had messages from her ex-boyfriend. Let's call him Andre. Her and Andre dated for 2 years. They were each other's first love, and she never told me what happened between them. I met her a year and some months after they broke up, when I went on a trip with my family to California. I didn't know anything about him, other than the fact that they dated sometime in high school and college. When I met her, we instantly hit it off. She showed me around LA, and me living in Australia wasn't a problem. We were in a long-distance relationship for a year, until I saved up enough money to move out of my country for her. Other than that, it took me months to look for a job in Los Angeles, so that I would be financially secure when I got there. 3 years later, we're still going strong. Or so I thought. When I clicked on their conversation out of curiosity, I immediately noticed the kiss and heart emojis. Right then, I knew what was happening. I don't want to go on about the details, but the only message that stood out was her talking about leaving me for a few months, so that she could take care of him. He has cancer, it's at stage 1, but he reckons he's going to die. On one of his messages to her, he asked if she would visit him in his house. And I'm pretty sure she did, because they mentioned how they had a great time together, and that it was good to catch up. Well, it's been a week since I found out. She doesn't know that I know, or that I took her old iPad out of its box, and that I had spent 2 days reading their messages. She has no idea at all. She thinks everything is okay between us, but I actually want to cry for a long time and that I want to physically hurt myself. I have no friends in LA, all of them are back home, and they're all living their own lives now. I don't want to talk about it to anyone because thinking too deeply about it hurts. I guess when it all comes down to it, she never really loved me, and I'm still trying to accept that. I don't know how to approach this. I have written my resignation letter for work, and I have messaged my parents that I was going to go home sometime next month. I did both when I was extremely upset. I just need advice on how to approach this. I don't want to talk to her about it, at all. I can't even look her in the eye without wanting to break down. Please help me on what to do and how to approach it correctly. As of now, I'm thinking of leaving while she's at work. Now for the top advice before the update. I don't mean to minimize his condition, but stage 1 cancer is highly treatable. I think he is pulling a quick one here. The dying victim that somehow survived, and so they meant to be together. Your girl has some loose ethics and moral values. I think deep inside her, she kind of felt that she wanted to go back to him. Also, women are extremely compassionate to people that are in disadvantaged situations. It's the charm that steals their heart. You need to be straight and bring it up. Explain to her that, although you understand, you can't stay in this situation cause it will ruin you. If she can't see that, then she is not worth of your time. She's coming home from work now. I'm a lot calmer than before, and I've messaged her exactly what you said. She wants to talk to me in person and I'm just waiting now. That's also what I thought, but I'm almost certain he said he didn't want to go through treatment, which doesn't make sense because he managed to convince her to come back to him. I don't know what he wants, but he seems like a pretty dumb coont. I understand that this is a tough situation, but if she is thinking of leaving you for this guy, cancer or no, I think it shows you where her priorities lie. If you wanted to give her a chance to explain and try to fix things, that is 100% your call, but I personally don't know that I would feel confident in that relationship again after seeing that. I wouldn't ghost in this case, but even just a note about what you found would be sufficient, if you feel that is the best way to handle it. Just be prepared that if you do cut it off with her, that she will be with this guy within a week, but I have a feeling that was going to happen sooner or later, to be honest. Personally, I'd check out too. If you already have the closure you need, there's no real reason to stick around and explain yourself. Leave a note. Better yet, leave the iPad on the charger with no lock timer, leave that message open on it, and walk away. She's already checked out, clearly. It's time for you to move on and be happy. Wishing you the best of luck. Thank you. We're going to talk when she comes home, and after that, I'm sorting things out with my employer. Update. I finally talked to my girlfriend about it and unfortunately, she is now my ex-girlfriend. A lot of things that I never expected to happen, did happen in a span of hours. As soon as she opened the door to our apartment, I could tell that she was already starting to cry. Seeing her so vulnerable like that also hurt, because I didn't want to put her in that position. I had to constantly remind myself that none of this was my fault. We sat down, there were lots of tears. I thought I would be bitter, angry, and that I would be screaming at her the whole time, but I felt disappointed instead. I told her that I saw the messages and explained how I ended up scrolling through their whole conversation. She kept reasoning that she just felt sorry for him, and that she didn't know how to say no to him because they go all the way back. Then I told her that we go more way back than they ever did. I was there through her lowest point. I helped her get up. She admitted that they had been intimate more than 3 times. I saw it coming, I had a gut feeling. But hearing her confirm it, hurt so much. At that point, I was full on crying. I can't remember some of the things that happened because my mind was all over the place. It still is now. I remember telling her that I was done, that whatever we had was over. She kneeled in front of me and asked me to forgive her. I don't think I ever will. I can't tolerate people who cheat. By that point, a third of my clothes were packed up. Obviously, she feels happier with him if she can do this to me. When I posted my first post, a Redditor approached me and offered me a place to stay. His place was only around 15 minutes away from ours and he picked me up. He also helped me sell a lot of my stuff that I can't bring back home, and will help me gather all my things back in my apartment. We both agreed that I don't mention him in this post. I'm glad that I really opened up to this community instead of keeping it to myself. Thank you to everyone who also offered me a place. It's almost 3 a.m., I'm heartbroken as ever, but I'm trying my best. I'm sending my resignation letter to work this morning. Every person in my family now knows my situation here, and have offered support. I'll be flying home as soon as possible. To all my Aussie mates, if you live near/around Chapel Hill, let me know. America, you were great but now it's time to come home. Thanks for the help everyone. Edit, I'm crying again, not because I got cheated on, but because I realized that there is a whole world out there that cares a lot for my well-being. I almost can't believe I looked at hurting myself as an option to get away from the pain. I am really overwhelmed and also thankful for this community. Anthony and his wife, the Redditor who helped me, says this has been the most wholesome thing that ever happened to him. I may have lost a girlfriend and a future wife, but I gained heaps of friends. And even friends for a lifetime. Other than that, I am feeling better. It still feels surreal that she's gone, but what can a bloke do? She made her choice so I made mine. I woke up to multiple messages from her family, saying that I shouldn't rush things, and that she's stupid and makes mistakes like everyone else. It sucks that I may not be able to see her family for a long time, they were great people. I thanked them and said, that although I believe in second chances and everyone makes mistakes, cheating is a choice that a-holes pick, never a mistake. X also emailed me around 5 in the morning. The email was too long, my eyes hurt from crying so I junked it straight away. I miss her like crazy. I know it will take a lot of time to heal me, but I guess I can wait. Now for some comments. Wow, props to that Redditor. He's a real one and I hope you can heal from everything that's happened. Best of luck. Definitely props to that Redditor. No argument. But I notice everyone is fixated on that and maybe not giving the OP enough props. Seems like a good person. My only concern is the resignation. I guess it depends on what type of job and or how serious of a job it is. But I'd hate to see dude lose his job over a situation that isn't his fault. If it's a good job and career type crap. If it was just a temporary gig, then I get it completely. Can we stop referring to that dude as dying? Stage 1 cancer is extremely survivable. Entirely possible he's using the, "I'll be dead soon" lines to get into her. Seems like it worked. So sorry you moved across the world for someone who let you down so badly. I hope Australia is better for you, and that you meet someone who will truly make you happy and be everything you deserve. Smile. P.S. If the Redditor that helped you out is reading this, then bravo my friend. You are a true asset to society. I hope lots of good things come your way. Now for the next story. Update. My 26 female, fiancé's 28 male, ex-wife, 28 female, has cancer. He's moved in with her and postponed our wedding. Original post. Max and I dated for 2 years and have been engaged for 9 months, with the wedding date set for early January. We have a healthy, honest relationship, and I've never had any reason to doubt him. He and Caroline were high school sweethearts who married very young. They were both 22, right out of college. They divorced after 2 years. Max told me that they got married too quickly, and didn't realize how different their relationship would be in the real world, that is, when they were both working full-time jobs and struggling to pay the rent. They split up on good terms, but didn't keep in touch. He remained in her home city, while she pursued a modeling career and began traveling extensively. 3 months ago, Caroline contacted Max over Facebook out of the blue, saying she was in town and wanted to meet for coffee. He agreed. Over coffee, she told him that she had recently been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Her odds of survival were low, but she was determined to fight it through surgery and chemo. She said that all she wanted was for Max to be by her side throughout her treatment. Caroline's parents died shortly after she married Max. She has no siblings, and the rest of her family lives overseas. She described Max as the closest thing to family she has left. I absolutely sympathize with Caroline. The next day, Max had her over to her apartment and she was completely lovely, clearly trying very hard to be optimistic, even in the face of her life potentially ending before she turns 30. I feel terrible for her and for the situation that she's in, and I fully supported Max being there for her. Her first surgery was later that month. Max flew across the country, we live on the East Coast, she's on the West, and checked into a hotel a few minutes from her apartment. He's a writer, so working from his laptop is no issue. We spoke on the phone or on Skype almost every day, for the 2 weeks he was over there. Caroline had her surgery at the beginning of June. Unfortunately, it was not entirely successful. Her doctors moved to the next method, chemo. Max came home after her surgery to tell me this. He explained that Caroline's treatment plan was set to begin in July and end in late January. It would be an incredibly difficult time period for her, and she wanted him with her at all times. We can't afford to pay for a hotel until January, so he moved into her apartment, sleeping on her sofa. He's been there for the past month and we continue to Skype, though only a couple times a week now. When we spoke yesterday, Max gently told me that based on Caroline's condition, he wouldn't feel right leaving her so close to the end of her treatment. He'd like for us to postpone the wedding until February, at the very least, so that he can stay with her until her treatment is over. I'm so conflicted. I feel awful for resenting Caroline at all. She has cancer. She's suffering immensely. But the resentment is still there. I resent her for needing Max constantly holding her hand, as though she has absolutely no friends of her own. I resent Max too, for agreeing to this situation. We won't be seeing each other in person for months now, on top of our wedding being postponed. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how I'm supposed to feel. Right now, I'm just full of anger and guilt, and I don't know how to explain it to anyone else in my life. Now for the top advice before the update. He's intending on living with his ex until February? And you are to do what? Just wait? No, your resentment and discomfort is not wrong. I feel intense sympathy for her, for your partner, absolutely. Death is a terrifying cold thing. But he's supposed to be with you. It was not her right to ask him to be with her as a husband as through this horror. Did she ask you? My fear is, okay, so February comes, her chemo's done, now she's weak and miserable from chemo. Is he going to leave her then, feeling like that? He should not have asked you over Skype. He should have been there in person. When is the next time you are supposed to see him? We're not in a bad place financially, but we just couldn't afford a plane ticket every month. We've been trying to save up to buy a house after the wedding, not to mention the cost of the wedding itself. So, to answer your question, end of January or early February. That's when I'll be seeing him in person, according to his plan. I feel horribly crass saying this, but I can't imagine them living together, as former lovers, near the possible end of her life, and them not sleeping together at some point. Admittedly, she'll be in an awful physical state, but it's such an emotionally charged situation, that it's highly likely. It might be a good idea to schedule a couple sessions with an experienced relationship and grief counselor, because it's an unusual problem, and if handled inappropriately it could end your relationship. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought that. But I hated myself for even considering it. Max has never given me a reason to doubt him, and Caroline's intentions seemed innocent. But I have no idea what stage she's in now. The only time I met her was back when she visited our apartment. He basically just told you that given the choice, he'd rather be with his ex, till death do them part. He chose his ex. I don't care if she's dying. He should be with you, not her. Edit. Everyone seems to be in agreement that this is a completely inappropriate, if incredibly sad, situation that Max isn't handling very well. I'll speak to him either tonight or tomorrow, whenever we Skype next, and tell him in no uncertain terms that I want him to come home. From there, we can decide what to do, since I don't want to leave Caroline high and dry. But him living there until February is out of the question. And now for the update. First off, thank you all so much for your advice and words of support. I'm sorry that I couldn't reply to every comment, reply, or PM that I got, but I woke up to a locked post and over 100 unread messages. I promise, I did read through every one of them. Each perspective was incredibly helpful and made me look at the situation in a completely different way. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I spoke to Max this morning. I told him that as terrible as I feel for Caroline, I don't want him living over there until February. I suggested that we brainstorm some sort of schedule that allowed him to continue visiting her, even postponing our honeymoon and using that money to fund his plane tickets. Several commenters brought up her moving over here for treatment, so I mentioned that as well, offering up our spare bedroom. I emphasized that I didn't fault him for wanting to help an old loved one, in what could be her final days, but that I couldn't help but feel marginalized, especially so close to our wedding. Max didn't speak very much, just listened while I rambled on. When I couldn't think of anything else to add, I asked him to please say something. So, he told me the truth. Caroline was never stage 4. She was stage 2. He assured me that the rest of his story is true. Caroline asking him to be with her, the initial surgery being unsuccessful, her chemo treatment plan, etc. But apparently, her chances of survival are far greater than he led me to believe. Max said he lied because he felt it was the only way I could understand his need to be with her. He thought that if her situation seemed less dire than literal life or death, I wouldn't agree to him essentially moving across the country for her. He admitted to telling her that her wedding had been postponed to next August, giving her the impression that him being away until February would be no problem. He has also been the one insisting on remaining by her side. After her surgery, she had given him permission to return home, saying that it wouldn't be fair to pressure him into living with her throughout her entire chemo treatment, as much as she would have liked him there. He refused to leave. He told her that I supported this decision fully. Max swears that he's not in love with her still, but I just can't believe that. He lied to my face. Before she visited our apartment back in May, he warned me not to mention her being stage 4 as she was still extremely sensitive about it. And I completely bought into that lie. I trusted him. He put his past with her over his future with me. I'll be spending the next few months apartment hunting and canceling wedding plans. Thank you all for your kind words. Now for some closing comments. Oh my god, I am so sorry. What a turd. You on the other hand, handled this beautifully. Please lean on the people close to you in this time. Or lean on us. I know you don't think it right now, but you're going to be okay. Many internet hugs being sent your way. Thank you. I just feel like such an idiot. All this time, and I never once questioned his story. I never even saw Caroline. He told me that she was too embarrassed by her appearance to join in on our Skype calls. I just took him at his word. Hideously painful though it is, it's a very good thing that you found out before you married that this guy was a scumbag who would literally use someone else's life-threatening illness to satisfy his selfish needs. He is foul. Also, I'd be telling the ex-wife exactly what he's done, too. Bet she won't be impressed either. You're a lucky person. Really. May not feel like it now. But you are. Yeah, I'd tell the ex-wife too. Although at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he's lied to her and told her he's broken it off, etc. This guy can't be trusted. Jesus. Would it be wrong of you, for Caroline's health reasons, to reach out to her and let her know what you believed? And that the wedding is off. But that you weren't angry with her. Tell her you're happy that she cared more about your relationship with Max than he ever did, and that you hope her treatment becomes effective soon. I don't know. I only say this because he could spin this in a crappy way to her, to make it seem like you angrily left him in her time of need or something. I don't know. Then again, should you even care what he does? Sigh. I'm so sorry OP. You'll meet better men. Trust me. He made such a big mistake. Even she was telling him to leave. Don't take him back if he comes back. He was going to move in with his ex. You deserve so much better, and so does she. If they end up back together, then best of luck to them. For all of Max's faults, he's technically been loyal to her throughout all of this. I guess I'm just past caring. My goal now is to be out of this apartment before he comes home. I don't ever want to see him again. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.